I strongly believe that the Denver Broncos need to move on and cut this former defensive player. The Denver Broncos have showcased that they are not afraid to make significant sweeping changes if players are not playing up to the level that they are getting paid to play at or the level that they were drafted to play at. The Denver Broncos made several big moves, especially after that 70-20 shellacking in Miami. They benched Randy Gregory and subsequently traded him to San Francisco. They benched Frank Clark from even his backup rotational role, and he got cut and subsequently re-signed with the Seahawks. They benched Essane Bassey, who came into the season as our starting nickel after K'Wan Williams went down, and he got cut, and they inserted Jaquan McMillan into that spot. The Denver Broncos have showcased that they will make those changes. I think another one could also be coming, assuming PJ Locke is healthy with his ankle. He could officially overtake Kareem Jackson as the starting safety, but I think that the Denver Broncos are ready to make a cut here, and it's to send a message to this defense that although they are playing way better, nobody is safe and they cannot get complacent. And also, I think at this point, this player is just almost wasting a roster spot, and that is Damari Mathis. Damari Mathis has basically been relegated to the third string, fourth string boundary corner spot, and even when he has to see the field in certain situational packages, he's been absolutely terrible, especially in that Buffalo game. He gave up several completions. Pretty much every time he was on the field, he gave up a completion. The Bills offense knew that Damari Mathis was the obvious weak link in that secondary, and they picked on him every single time. I mean, if we come over here and take a look at Damari Mathis's PFF stats from this season, I don't think I have to tell you that it has been terrible. Literally, he is the worst graded corner eligible with their snap counts this year per PFF with a 34.9 overall defensive grade. He's the 111th out of 113th graded corner in coverage with a 37.7 grade. I mean, it's just absolutely putrid with Damari Mathis. And then run defense, no better, 30.0 grade. That's the 100th graded corner out of 103 total. I mean, come on, dude, you cannot win with that. And then if you come over here and take a look at Damari Mathis's PFF grades, obviously that week 1 game against the Raiders, he had a 27.4 coverage grade. I mean, then you come over here, look at Buffalo. He played in 4 snaps and had a 47.2 coverage grade. There was one play in particular that really stands out to me. It was a 3rd down and 16 play. The Denver Broncos were in a dime package, and they slid Fabian Moreau, who has been our starter at the boundary ever since Damari Mathis got benched. They kicked him inside into the slot, the dime position, and they put Damari Mathis out on the boundary. And Mathis got absolutely cooked by Gabe Davis on an 18-yard stop route to move the chains on 3rd down and 16. That is inexcusable. You can't even depend on Damari Mathis to be a backup rotational player at this point. He gets picked on literally every time he sees the field. And if you're going to make him inactive, we actually had this conversation. My fellow co-host on the 5280 podcast, Cam Parker, brought up this point. Why not just inactivate him? And I countered that point with, if you're going to have Damari Mathis sit on the inactive list, you might as well just cut him at that rate and bring in a player and utilize that roster spot for somebody who's actually going to contribute on a down-to-down basis. At this point in time, Damari Mathis is just kind of wasting a roster spot. And I know a lot of people will counter that point with, well, he looked good last year, but it was under a different regime, a different defensive scheme. Yes, his position coach and Christian Parker is still here, but at the end of the day, Sean Payton and Vance Joseph have no loyalty whatsoever to Damari Mathis. And I'd much rather give Tremon Smith those snaps that we were giving to Damari Mathis, because yes, Smith can be a liability, but I don't think that he's going to be a liability on every single snap that he plays on defense, and it would just be in rare situational times. I don't think that Tremon Smith will go out there and completely dig a dump in his helmet on every single play. I don't mean to rag on Damari Mathis. I don't wish any ill will on him personally or anything like that, but at the end of the day, dude, he is not contributing even as a backup. You have to cut bait with your loss at that point and just move on, man. I'm sorry. Give Damari a shot to go out there and get another opportunity elsewhere. I think it's just time for both sides to move on. The Broncos could go out and pluck somebody off of another team's practice squad, or hell, even sign somebody off of the street that would probably be able to contribute those rotational snaps and not be a liability every single time he goes out there, like Damari Mathis unfortunately is. Again, I don't mean to crap on Damari Mathis here, but dude, it's really, really bad. So I think that the Denver Broncos have to prove that guys just cannot get complacent here, and they have to move on from Damari Mathis. It's simple as that for me. All right, Broncos country, I'm curious if you guys agree with me that the Broncos should move on from former 4th-round draft pick Damari Mathis. Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are 2 free and easy ways to show your support. Helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.